Okay, I'm going to tell you the difference between the arteriocyte and the harvest. So they're both platelet concentrators, or separators rather, and concentrators. The harvest over here is very, very simple. It's a centrifuge. Here's the kit. The kit contains everything that you need for the blood draw as well as processing the PRP. You can process 160 ml of whole blood down to 10 mLs of PRP, and it's a concentration of approximately 4 times baseline. And you can only process 160 ml of whole blood. So I use this very often for priapus, O shots. If I know I'm just dealing with 160 ml of blood, it takes about 14 minutes, I guess it is, to process, and it's really quite simple. The benefit of the harvest over the arteriocyte is that they have a fat kit as well, so you can harvest adipose-derived stem cells and process it in the same Smart Prep 2 centrifuge. And I'll be doing that on Monday. Brian Odie, the rep, is coming over, and we're going to do a couple of men. We're going to harvest some stem cells, we're going to harvest some platelet-rich plasma, and we'll do priapus shots with the stem cells and see what sort of efficacy there is. So you have flexibility there because you can use stem cells. And I like it. It's a very easy to use piece of equipment. Right next to it here is the arteriocyte company, and you can see it's called the Magellan classically, and now that everybody's getting into PRP, it's called True PRP. A great machine. It has as well a kit right here that has everything in there that you need. A little bit different in that you can process up to 180 mLs of whole blood, and that's a huge benefit. Both the Magellan and the arteriocyte, the Magellan and the harvest, you actually can also get the platelet poor plasma, which we use for various things. But the benefit, the advantage of the Magellan over the harvest is if you want to process more PRP. The kits cost about the same. I've purchased both of the equipment. Actually, that's not true. The harvest I have on a lease deal they have. I pay $250 per kit, and I have to purchase, I think it's up to 57 kits in a year, which I've already done, so that's easy enough to do, and now the centrifuge is mine. The Magellan I paid for, I think I paid $12,000, $13,000 for it, and the kits are also $250. So I use the Magellan quite often when I'm going to do multiple procedures or if I want more platelet-rich plasma. So I can take each 60 ml syringe of whole blood, process it down to a 4 times baseline, just like the harvest. I'll get 10 mLs from each 60 ml. So I can have up to 30 mLs of 4 times baseline PRP, plus I'll even get 20 mLs from each 60 ml of whole blood. So I can actually have 30 mLs of PRP at 4 times baseline and 60 mLs of PPP. And so that's sometimes very convenient. The other beautiful thing about the Magellan is I can dial the concentration. So for instance, if I wanted a 5 times baseline or 6 times, even up to 13 times baseline, if you're at about 13 times baseline, then you have 3 mLs of platelet-rich plasma for every 60 ml of whole blood. So you can see the versatility here. Excellent product. Both of them are very easy to use. And the Magellan has the advantage of being able to process more platelet-rich plasma for multiple procedures in the same visit and to dial in the concentration. The harvest has the advantage of being able to process adipose-derived stem cells, which I really think we're probably headed in that direction. I find it's very handy to have both. Of course, you know, I'm teaching and I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve, and so I went ahead and made that investment. I use them both, and I go through lots of kits. Now, the single spin tubes that I use are from Region Lab. I like them very much. I use them for all of the aesthetic procedures. It's a very simple 10 mLs of blood. You spin, you get about 5 mLs of PRP. And what you're looking at best is 1.8 times baseline. I find that very adequate for aesthetic procedures, if I'm using it post-laser or for the vampire facelift or microneedling. It's really great. I also find it quite effective for urge incontinence in women. Ken Orbeck has a great story, and I have lots of successes with that. Although my standard now for anything other than aesthetics is the Harvest and the arteriocyte. We're also doing a hair regrowth procedure, and you want to have a more concentrated platelet-rich plasma for that. So I really think if you're going to get into this platelet-rich plasma game, which you should, I have paid for these pieces of equipment easily by now, and just getting better and better at these things, then you really have to make the investment into one of these pieces of equipment at least, okay? And I see no reason not to have both a concentrator and separator, one of the Harvest or arteriocyte, and a centrifuge where you can spin the Regent lab tubes. It's just great to have that versatility. I hope this helps, and I'm open to any questions that you might have. Ken Orbeck has the Harvest. He bought that after we did our stem cell training and saw how easy it is to use for both PRP and fat. I know that Ken Verano has the arteriocyte. Brian Warner also has the arteriocyte, and I'm not sure who else.